So in this video, we're looking at how to divide fractions. We're looking at two types. In the first one here on the left, we're dividing 14 by 2 over 5. So we're dividing a natural whole number by a fraction. And in our second example, we're going to be looking at how to divide a fraction by a fraction. So we're looking at two examples. But first of all, let's have a look at what it actually means to divide by a fraction. So looking here at the picture, we have 6 apples. And when you cut the 6 apples in half, that leaves you with 12 half apples. So another way of looking at it is if you have 6 people or 6 friends and you want to divide, you'd want to divide the 6 friends in half. When you divide 6 by half, you get 12. So let's look at that mathematically. I have 6 divided by 1 over 2. Now, another way of writing 6 is the same as writing it as 6 over 1. You can put any number you want over 1 because 1 divided into 6 still gives me 6. Think of another one. If I have 21, a whole number, I can also put it over 1 because 1 divides into 21 times. So that's why I'm putting my 6 as a fraction, 6 over 1. And that is also going to be 6 over 1 divided by 1 over 2. So it basically means the same thing. Now, a trick with division of fractions is that if I flip the second fraction, so I'm flipping the 1 over 2 to become 2 over 1. So I'm just putting the numerator as the denominator and the denominator as the numerator. And the little trick here is I can now turn my division into multiplication. So I flip the second fraction and I turn it into multiplication. And as you know, to multiply fractions, you multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. And when I multiply the top by the top, I get 6 multiplied by 2, which is 12. And on the bottom, 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And 12 divided by 1 is 12. And that's the answer that we had over here when we split our 6 apples in half. We got 12 half apples. And that's our way of looking at it mathematically. So let's look at 2 more examples. So the first one here is asking us to divide 14 by 2 over 5. So in other words, I'm going 14 divided by 2 over 5. Now we now know that 14 is the same as putting it as 14 over 1 because 1 divided into 14 is still giving me 14. And that's divided by 2 over 5. Our trick for division, as we said, is to flip the second fraction, the fraction you're dividing by. So that now becomes 5 over 2. I've flipped it. I keep the original fraction as 14 over 1. And I turn my division now into multiplication. And to multiply fractions, we multiply top by top and bottom by bottom. And when we multiply 14 by 5, we get 70, and when I multiply the 1 by the 2, I get 2. And how many 2's are in 70? There are 35 parts. So dividing 14 by 2 over 5 leaves me with an answer of 35. Coming over to the second example here, I'm asked to divide 4 over 9 divided by 2 over 3. So 4 over 9 divided by 2 over 3. Again, the rule applies. You flip the fraction you are dividing by. I'm dividing by the 2 over 3, so that becomes 3 over 2. Never flip the fraction that you are dividing into. So the 4 over 9 stays the same. So that becomes 4 over 9. And I'm now turning my division into multiplication. And I now know how to multiply fractions. I do top by top and bottom by bottom. So what does that give me? 4 3's are 12 and 2 9's become 18. And that is another fraction. I can't get a whole number there. So if I simplify my numerator and denominator, I can divide the top and the bottom by a 6. So when I divide 6 into 12, I get 2, and 6 into 18 becomes 3. So 4 over 9 divided by 2 over 3 is giving me 2/3. So that's dividing fractions by fractions. Just remember, the quick way of doing it is to flip the second fraction and turn your division into multiplication.